Yeah,
Yeah.
cool, man. Okay, and hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crank and with that metalstation.com as well. And today I'm having a chat with Vicente from Nahuales Underground, which I got to chat to almost a year ago today. I think it was almost, it's pretty close, about a week or
Yeah.
so prior. So today. So it's really cool to get to see one of you guys in person. And it was a really cool written interview. So a big shout out to thank you for taking the time to do that last year, and a shout out for making some time to have a chat with me this year.
No, thank you. Thank you for having us, man. Like we do appreciate everything you do, not only for the sake of just the music, but just communication. Because I love talking to other people from other countries. It's such a blessing to first and foremost, to see that and to get those opportunities. So I'm truly thankful for that.
Yeah, well, it would be a bit of a blast for you guys bringing out this music as well too. It is a very rap, ska, punk based music, but it does have influences, slight influences of metal, which I pick up the metal influences as well. And I know for me, being a young lad growing up, I was heavily into punk and the ska and a bit of the reggae scene as well, because it does have those elements of reggae as well. So
No, yeah. For mine, it was a little different taste growing up. I never really got into ska. I was never really into ska, even though I joined the band when I was 17 years old. I never really liked ska. I actually preferred metal over anything.
yeah,
So I would be my friend Dane would be like, "Cool, listen to Metallica, and then listen to System of a Down, and then here you go back, go to Black Sabbath, and then like we grew to like Lamb of God, and then Meshuggah, and then Gorgira, and then all these other bands. So I'm just like, there's a whole different world, out there. And then the older you get, the more you get to experience other music and other genres. So I kind of got to love more, a little bit more ska, getting a little older.
yeah, well, there was a punk band here in Australia, it was Area 7, which was like one of the punk bands that was doing a lot of that ska. And it kind of actually really, I got into that sound a lot as a young lad when that punk was doing that ska sound a lot. It was really cool.
No, yeah. There's a lot of good bands. Even the currently right now with Voodoo Glow Skulls. Even like some different mixtures that's not sky integrated, like Nyaka Protest. They do a lot of like cool punk, style with like Mexican style with like the accordion, which is very unique. That's why I got into all that. I'm like, whoa, like you can mix all these genres together and make it sound really badass. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, well, when I first heard it, it was the Politico Incorrect, I think, around that time, that album. And in the interview, you were saying that you did kind of want to growl a little bit. You did before in the previous release, and in that one you didn't. But I think you kind of come back a little bit, and you do kind of have those little bit of heavier moments in this album as well, which is the. Can you pronounce it for me so I don't ruin it for everyone?
It's pronounced. I might butcher it myself too, because I'm also. It's an old Aztec language. It's a Cicuayol contra el power, which is a Aztlan language from the Aztecs. Going back to our roots. So we used all different languages that we speak. From well, we don't speak Aztlan, but we speak English and Spanish. So we wanted to bring a little bit, not only from our roots,
Yeah.
but a little bit from English and a little bit from Spanish into our music. So something that we never want to forget. It's in our blood,
Yeah.
and it's something that's always going to be with us, until we die, and then leading on to the next generation.
Yeah, I like that because in Australia over here, it's kind of music is kind of, you can journey to different parts of the world as well, and Nahuales does it really well. Mixes in the Hispanic heritage and the American heritage as well, and creates this great blend of music. And for me over here in Australia, I love bands like yourself. It's almost like traveling all over the world through music as well. Wait up, there we go. Okay. As I
Oh.
was saying, yeah, jump there. As I was saying, music and bands like yourself, for someone like over here in Australia, myself, I travel a lot through cultures and music, through music as well. And bands like yourself have managed to mix in that Hispanic heritage of yours and be able to create this mash of something new as well, because you're all in Americans too as well. So you're able to bring in this music and kind of create this mix of heritage and something new as well.
No, yeah. It's something that we've definitely strived for. We wanted to do something very unique to how we want to represent ourselves. There's a lot of bands throughout the years. The band started in 2004, and we've definitely evolved throughout all those years. Having different bandmates. So yeah, we definitely all together. We each have our own style. My other singer, Loco, he has his own unique style too. So when we incorporate those two together, we mix some good flavor, which I truly enjoy, and that's the love of music that we all have.
Yeah. So how do you approach it when songwriting and that with the two vocalists and laying arrangements and things like that as well? How did you approach it specifically for this album?
Well, for this album, all these songs, we went into the studio recording like 17 songs. These are all classics from, except for like one or two that were already written back in the day. These were ones that the original singer Loco he made with a group of friends, and those were the first songs that they made. And we all came up with the idea. Every single one of us is like we were hearing those old albums, and we're like, we should bring that back. Like we should with technology nowadays, with recording nowadays, you can do a lot better quality. So I tell them, I'm like, hey, we should bring them back. And then Local was like, yeah, let's do it. Like let's bring this new version of us. And you can hear the differences between the old album. Actually, when we released it, I listened to the old album and I put it neck to neck with the new one, and it's day by night. It's a whole different feeling, a whole different atmosphere. So we talked about it as a band, and we all decided like let's bring this back because the previous versions it didn't capture the full potential of what the band could have been,
Yeah.
and is. So we're like, let's do it again. Let's do it right, and let's not only be happy with it, but we can listen to it like 5 years later and go back to the album and be like, yeah, we did that, and it sounds beautiful. Which I personally think it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. So what was it like getting back in the studio and recording these tracks and kind of giving them a new breath of life? It would have been a really great experience. I can tell just talking to you now about it. It must have been fun to get in there and go, okay, let's get into this, boys. We're going to do this. And with the band as well, because you did have a lot of
yeah.
we talked about in the last interview. If you want to go check that as well, yeah.
No, yeah. At that time, we had Miguel Micas as our drummer.
Yep.
And he's he's an OG in the ska scene, metal scene, punk scene, that Latin scene that we have. So my brother, who's the bass player, his name's Ismael. He was the guitar player, and he knew him from a long time. So the experience from the first album to the second album, we were a lot like more excited, because we were like bringing back something new and something old to become something new. And then obviously me, I had the opportunity to scream and to growl, and I'm like, I got even more excited because I'm like, yes, we can be heavy.
I know, because as I mentioned before, that was something you were looking forward to getting back into and bringing in a little bit more of that heavier metal roots with which you have.
No, of course. You cannot go wrong with a little bit of heavy metal in a couple songs.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I truly enjoy, and a lot of the band members, like, they all enjoyed it and they all feel it. And that's the main thing, is you want to make sure that everybody is in agreement and everybody thinks like, oh, that sounds awesome. And if everybody does it, then we're all good.
Yeah, man, it looks so fun too. I was watching that live stream you've done recently as well, and that would have been a blast to be a part of that. And actually, I'm not sure what it's like over in the US, but I know we've only just started some live shows here the last month or so. But it probably would have been good to kind of get in together and kind of play some music, if not for crowds. There's people all over the world watching this.
No, yeah. We've been. I know right now in the states, with the new president that just got elected, Biden, there hasn't been 100% like confirmation if he's gonna do anything like a 2 week lockdown. I know the vaccine is out to get to some people. I know they still have a lot of areas like you can't group up, you can't have a certain amount of people. Shows right now are non-existent. Hopefully they bring that back. The FDA is stating other things, and the government saying other things. I'm hoping that we'll be able to not only be safe from this virus and this pandemic that we have going on, but I want to make sure that once we go back on stage, that we're ready to give the fans, what they've been waiting for a long time, because it feels so weird not performing in front of people, that when we did the whole live session, it didn't feel right. Like, it was great playing and performing it, but that energy that the fans, that the people give you, the way they mosh, the way that they chant the songs, the way that they have that energy flowing through us, that's what it was missing. And I love doing streaming and all that, but it doesn't compare live. It just doesn't.
Yeah, and it's got to transcend to support as well. And I do talk about this a lot, and I know I probably sound like a broken record player, but it comes down to support, where bands like a lot of the bands I interview from the scene like yours, and we'll just say Nahuales Underground. So you go play a live show at a pub or a gig, so you're propping up the venue as well. You're bringing in money for that, but also it's also a big area where you sell merchandise. That's my main thing about playing live.
Yeah.
So you go in there, you play live. So not some people not necessarily coming in to see you guys, but then they watch you and they're blown away, and they'll walk over to the merch stand, which is one of you guys or a couple of you guys standing behind the merch stand, selling some shirts, selling some CDs, selling whatever it is, and you're creating connections with the fans who then go away and go, oh, check this out. And and we don't have that at the moment, but that just doesn't mean because people can't get to these shows and can't support. Like, anyone watching this that loves the Nahuales Underground, get on and support them. They've got, where's the best place we can get along and support you guys? I know you've got a website as well, which is nahualesunderground.com, isn't it? I think it is.
Yes, that is our website. That's our official website. In there, you'll be able to get all of our links.
Yeah.
So from Facebook to Instagram to our YouTube page. On top of that, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming services, even TikTok. If you ever do a TikTok, our music is on there.
Yeah.
So one of the blessings that we did the end of last year is we actually started opening up our shop. So through our official website, you can actually go to our shop, and we'll direct you to actually our merchandise, which is something new that we try to do. And so it's a completely different territory that we've never done before. Something that I talked to Javi, who's our percussion player, and I work together with him to make sure that we are on top of everything. It's all due to us. We've never done any of that, so it's very weird, but it's something we have to get adjusted to.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. And I think I always bring up support because people like, the platforms and the streaming platforms, some people probably don't realize you're putting out music up there for free pretty well. So I'm a big supporter of buying records, buying merch. Those hoodies look sweet, by the way. If someone wants some hoodies, they're feeling cold, get some of them, really cool. But I'm all about support, and people get along and supporting bands like yourself, because we're not going to get rich off this metal game, music game, rock, punk, ska game, but we will be at least able to pay for some albums if everyone gets along and supports it. And that gets you back in the studio, fired up to go, look, what's next? Where do we go next? There we go. As I was saying about the support, if people are getting along and supporting you guys, that just kind of fires you up for the next album. We go, look, everyone's getting behind us. And, 2020 was a shit year. Let's make 2021 a good year. Get the support we have for the bands going forward.
No, yeah, of course. It's definitely something that we're definitely promoting, and we're definitely showing, and have to be active. Obviously,
Yeah,
that's one of the main things. Because if you're not active, people are just obviously they're just gonna forget.
yeah,
So definitely being active. Yeah, 2020 was not a good year for nobody in the entire world. And I know there's a lot of people that have lost a lot of loved ones. Which is such a tragedy, but hopefully, with 2021 and 2022, we'll be able to blossom our way into, finally uniting everybody together and making sure that we thrive these situations and we all work together, so we can, for any of these new pandemics, let's hope to God that nothing happens like this again in the future, but, it could potentially happen again, to make sure that we understand what we have to do to make sure everybody is safe.
yeah. Exactly, mate. This album, I'm going to ask you to pick off a couple of tracks off the album for us, man, and we're going to play it on the
Of
show.
course.
Yeah, I'm going to do a dual one. This
No, of
interview,
course,
so
man.
everyone that's watching this is going to go on YouTube. So that interview section we just done with Vicente and myself will be on YouTube. But this bit extra, you're going to have to tune into that metalstation.com to listen to the tracks that me and Vicente pick out off the album. Cheers, Vicente. Did you want to pick out 2-3 tracks off the album? We'll go 3 tracks. Yeah.
I'll do definitely Assalto. That's the one that it's on our YouTube page that we made the music video of.
Yeah.
That one we were, oh man, I love that song. That's one of the main first songs that I got to experience as going into the band, and I just fell in love with it. That one we'll do. Actually, if we could, let's see, Darky would be a really good one,
Yep.
and then Mata Viejita.
Yeah. This is a really great
Which
album too, man. I've really enjoyed listening to this album, and I really do enjoy your music. I have since I come across you guys last year, and I was talking to Antonio before and chatting again. Super cool guy. The whole band is really cool, man, and I've really enjoyed your music. I'm a mad metalhead, but I love punk. I love the reggae influences. I love the ska, and I love the music. And even a mad metalhead like me can't just listen to brutal metal 24/7. So when I come
yeah,
across you a year ago, it was an absolute pleasure to dive into your music. I'm loving the album. Everyone get out and grab the album. Support the band. Hit up Nahuales Underground. This has been an absolute pleasure, man. We're going to sign out. Did you have any last words, shout outs, or thank yous you wanted to add in there?
no, yeah. I definitely also want to shout out. We're doing a fundraising was it the complication CD
Yep.
and actually in Australia with Bethany called Skyman Saves the World. And it's actually been in Melbourne, Australia. So we're actually in that CD fundraising for all the local venues and all the local restaurants and everything. Obviously this pandemic hasn't been good to a lot of businesses. So this any money that goes into this will go directly towards funding those services. It's called Skyman Saves the World. Our one song called "Fuck You" would be on that. I'm not saying that to you. No, I'm not saying that to you. But that's gonna be on the CD, and check it out. Check it out.
Awesome. Scarman Saves the World. Get on it. What a great cause, Vicente. Must be an absolute blast to get on to causes like this as well. Everyone, get along to Nahuales Underground. Grab the latest album. Grab all their other stuff. Put it in your stereo. As I say, turn it up really loud. The neighbours are going to want to hear this. Cheers, mate.
Oh yeah.